Today we're with Strategy Finishing School member Evan Pleskus, who's a creative strategist at Scorpion. He's going to be taking us through his strategy portfolio, and I think it's a really great example of how strategy works on both big brands and also can work on small brands. So Evan, I'll hand it over to you.
All right. So I'm excited to go through my portfolio here. I am a senior creative strategist, primarily in the digital space. We create websites or kind of the primary output from my work. And I work with franchise type businesses and multi-location businesses. So really excited, as Julian said, to kind of showcase that strategy can be used for smaller businesses as well as the big guys like Nike and Red Bull and so on. What we're going to look at today is just a quick overview of how I envision strategy, what I envision strategy to be, and then go through three examples of my own strategies through three different frameworks. I wasn't able to use or publish my actual client names, so we're using kind of a little more opaque industry names throughout this, but these are real examples of strategies. So first, what is a strategy? I see it as investigator meets puzzler. So it's really the investigative piece first of identifying the puzzle pieces and all of the possible key pieces of information related to a specific problem that you're trying to solve. But then the puzzler comes in once you uncover all of that information and finding out the best way to put those pieces together. There could be 100 ways to put all of that information together and 100 different strategies that you could come up with, but it's finding the best way to make all of that information fit into a seamless story. So first, we're going to look at a strategy on a page example. And for this, I'm using a private security company. They were founded with a vision to redefine what security means in a time when security companies attempt to look and act like the police. And they have done this through the development of training grounded in hospitality and de-escalation, and have since expanded on that through community involvement, eco-conscious processes, and just a commitment to providing the best value for their client, even if it doesn't mean the best value for their bottom line. The strategy on a page is that a security company wants to launch a new website that helps them redefine private security. The problem is that business owners think all security guards act like wannabe cops. However, security and kindness are not mutually exclusive. So we need to show that security can be both effective and compassionate, so that business owners feel confident that they can protect both their assets and their image, helping to differentiate this company in the minds of their potential clients. Next, we have our Get Who to Buy. For this one, I am using a pain management clinic. Our goal was to increase self-referral submissions through the launch of a new website. Our audience were chronic pain sufferers who have not found relief through at-home remedies or from their primary care physicians. But the problem is chronic pain sufferers believe they have just been dealt a bad hand and are destined to suffer through life. The key action that we want to take is to show that chronic pain does not need to take the joy out of life, with the insight that while chronic pain is a burden, with proper management, you can still do the things that you love, which leads us to our single-minded message of personalized treatment can restore joy. And so our Get Who to Buy here was to get chronic pain sufferers who think that they will never enjoy life again to understand that it is possible for them to do the things they love by showing them that you don't need to completely remove the pain, but learn how to live with it. And our last framework here is the benefits ladder. For this one, I used an in-ground pool contractor. So this contractor was a third-generation family-owned and operated franchise that was founded more than 70 years ago. Since then, they have built 80,000 pools and have been recognized for their craftsmanship. But more recently, the market has become highly saturated with lookalike contractors selling out-of-the-box designs, which makes it hard to stand out from the crowd. So for our benefits ladder, the feature is a custom in-ground swimming pool design with the functional benefit of allowing homeowners to find greater enjoyment in their backyards, and the emotional benefit of giving homeowners the satisfaction of having a backyard that aligns with their personal identity, whether that's just a hot tub or a big, fancy swimming pool with a waterfall. It gives them the opportunity to have that connection and see themselves reflected in their backyard. And that was my portfolio. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, Evan. What I really loved about it is you just had really good insights into both the business and then also the consumer. The first one for me was that simple line was like, security is usually associated with police. And the fact that you kind of flipped that and found this new space was what I felt was really special about that first brief. The second one, I think it's a great example of what I think you need to do with the get who to buy. A lot of people forget that the who statement needs to be solved, which is a consumer problem, needs to be solved by the single-minded proposition. And in that, you had these pain sufferers were not enjoying life. They were just really frustrated with life. And the flip that I think you did on it was, you can live with this. Like, we're not going to solve that problem completely, but you're going to go on with life. And to me, that just shows a really smart strategy. It's just like, all we're trying to do is make people look at things from a different angle. And then the final one is, I think we often think pools and we think, oh, it's all about the enjoyment. It's all about, oh, my kids can go swim. And I feel like you've probably done so many surveys with that. But then taking it up and just showing the personal identity and it kind of having control over your space and letting that explain who you are and as a person was just, it's just fantastic. And what you want to see from a benefit ladder, because, you look at the category of pools, it's all kind of, oh yeah, we're jumping in a pool. Look at how much fun we're having. So I thought taking it to almost like a space where I was thinking of like interior design just felt really smart. So great work. And again, yeah, being able to do this, as you were saying, on like brands that are franchise or these small, medium-sized businesses, you could see the pool brand as that could be your local pool, but you could see that as a franchise play across America too. So that's really good. But I'd love to hear from you now how you found out about the strategy finishing school and what was the turning point of you deciding, oh, I'm going to sign up now?
Yeah, I actually found out we have a brand strategy specific team at Scorpion. And so I was talking to the brand strategist on that team about ways that I can kind of build my knowledge around strategy and have a better foundation for my work. And he had recommended you along with some others. And I watched some of your free videos on YouTube first to get an idea. I had actually signed up for one of your webinars and then had a meeting scheduled at the same time. So I had to miss it. It was enough to spark my interest. And so, yeah, that's kind of how I ended up finding you and taking the course.
Excellent. And now that you've done the course, what did you find the most valuable or what you've been able to practically use in your job?
Honestly, the biggest difference it's made for me is really solidifying kind of the work that I was already doing. And while I wasn't creating my briefs in the same format that you were, or frameworks that you're teaching it, you really talked about how your frameworks are kind of the basis of strategy. And so being able to see how what I was doing reflected into what you were doing, even though I was using different words, and it was a simple transition to take my brief and translate it into the benefit ladder or into the strategy on a page. So it was really just that kind of confirmation piece, I feel like was the biggest piece for me. But there's also a lot of great information too that kind of helps on the research side for me, I think, and how to gather information, especially through desk research and where to look for, more inputs to improve my investigative ability and gather more of that information that I could then put together in this puzzle.
Excellent. Yeah, I think the big thing for me as well is just like giving you the confidence. Like I've heard that time and time again is just like strategists to kind of stitch this together themselves, but just hearing from a third party, this is why we're doing it and this is how it works. It always helps to build that confidence going into any room. Well, thank you so much, Evan. Excited, and thank you very much again for sharing your deck with us.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for giving me the time.